Live from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studios and the Gurkha Cigar Studios in the great state of New Hampshire. Welcome to the Smokin Tabacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Pat Chamberlain.
My headset's always getting tangled. It's always getting caught over here on this new desk. There we go. That's more comfortable. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com, and I'm joined finally once again by my co-host, Mr. Pat Chamberlain. Pat missed out on spare notes over the weekend because he was a little bit too afraid to drive in the snow, but that's okay. It's not for everybody, I guess.
Yeah, it's tough out here.
Kid grew up in New Hampshire, doesn't know how to drive in the snow.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you shit, don't worry.
Yeah, no, I drive a Lexus. I mean, it's pretty good in the snow, though.
That's right, I forgot about that. So for folks who don't know, Pat's a lawyer, and he has a Lexus. So you've heard of the Lincoln lawyer. Pat's the Lexus lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
comes off the tongue better.
It does. You look good driving it. I'll give you that. Actually, no, I take that back. I was going to say, I think Jared had a Lexus, but then I remembered, no, it was an Infinity.
No.
He might have had a Lexus, too.
The one that flooded was a Lexus.
I thought it was an Infinity. That was a Lexus? Yeah. The one he got wet? Really?
Yeah, that was a Lexus.
It was? Okay, that's what I was going to say. Like, Jared had one, but he flooded it. But then I was like, wait, was that an Infinity?
No, that was a Lexus.
Okay, then. So then, yes. So, you can either, A, not do that, and you get that on him, or you can be like him. Do you have a sunroof?
Yep.
Yeah, so leave the sunroof open, all the windows down, let it get wet.
I'll pop the trunk, too, just to add to just to one-up them.
Yeah. That's a good one. I won't really get into why Jared did that on the air, but it's a great story. He can tell you if you run into him on the street. But anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the ventilation here in the studio, and just doing a couple of show things. Like half of it's here and half of it's actually on my phone. Isn't that interesting? It's amazing how far technology has come. But anyway, welcome folks. What was I going to say? We have an interesting show for you tonight. I am going to be smoking a cigar. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But Pat is going to smoke an unbanded cigar during tonight's discussion. He does not know what it is. This is something that I picked out blind in the humidor room. And I just gave it to him. And I said, here you go. Figure it out. Now, this is something for folks who've been watching the show for a long time. I used to do this with Carney a lot back in the day. And this is out of fuel. I forgot to fill it. I got this one. And I figured, you know what a good exercise for Pat. And I wanted to do a pipe show tonight, but we didn't have all of our necessary materials to do that. So we're going to shelf that for maybe a couple weeks or maybe a few months. I think we're actually getting pretty booked up now. We should be booked up the rest of February, March, April, even into May, post-trade show. We got a lot going on. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. A couple of book tours, a couple of new guests. I think, yeah, we got a couple of new guests. And first-timers to the show. So that'll be interesting. And then, obviously, with everything that's going on with the trade show, new releases, stuff like that, we have some people making some big announcements on the show, which will be exciting. Can't wait for that. Wow, interesting. But anyway, back to that. So Pat's going to be smoking this cigar tonight. I did not tell him what it is. He doesn't know what it is. Now, you cut it. You did the cold draw. You lit it. Any guesses of anything here? Nicaragua, Dominican?
Definitely.
Do you know anything? Can you guess anything? Give a hint of what factory it might be?
It's a box press.
Well, it's a box press. You can see that. If you didn't know that, I'd be like, you gotta get your eyes checked, man.
I mean, at this point, I'd say it's Nicaraguan origin.
Yes.
Binder filler. San Andreas wrapper, most likely. Just based off the initial. Matt's like, let me pull up what the blend is. I don't know.
I'm gonna pull up I want to get I make sure I have every little I mean, I know what it is, but I don't remember every little detail off the top of my head.
I mean, it has that Nicaraguan spice, but it has the kind of like sweet spiciness finish you get with a San Andreas. Hence is why that would be the blend, I would guess it is. I gotta smoke more of it to kind of guess which brand it could belong to, because the beginning of it is your typical Nicaraguan spice bomb. So.
So you said binder filler Nicaragua. Okay. If you had to guess on any of those tobaccos, like specifically,
Okay.
could you guess, or is it too early?
Like the filler?
Yeah, filler, binder, either one. Do you taste anything that stands out in that?
Well, filler-wise, it's very spicy, so I would say that if you want me, you mean like regions?
Could be tobacco varietal.
Okay. Well, if it's, I wouldn't be shocked if there was Condega, Nicaraguan tobacco in here.
It might not be far off.
Like,
That's all I can say for now.
I'd say Esteli, but like,
You're on the right track. You're not like, oh, this is Dominican Piloto Cubano. No. You're close.
well, I mean, whenever it's
You're
Nicaraguan,
close.
If you say Esteli, Condega, or Jalapa, you basically hit it. You know.
Yeah, I know.
What else? So I'm
Well,
trying
you'd be surprised. I've done this exercise many times. A good handful on the show, but a lot of times off the show. And you'd be surprised. I give someone like a Dominican Maduro, and they're like, "This is Mexican San Andreas with like Honduran filler," and I'm like, "No, not even fucking close, not even close." You know. So pretty good.
If I had to guess a brand, just on the initial inch, without even spending enough time on it to give a reasonable guess, it fits within the Espinosa profile.
Interesting.
Just right off the rip. But
Now, I'm not going to confirm or deny anything till the end. So everything you say, it's not me being like, oh, I'm just like, interesting. So, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, let me talk about what I'm smoking. I am smoking, brought to you by the number 2 Guys Cigars. That's right, the number 2, GuyCigars.com. Head over there for an amazing selection of cigars and accessories that you know and love. Maybe some stuff you haven't found yet, you haven't tried. Get some new stuff. Try something new. Always try something new at the number 2, GuyCigars.com. Those guys are great. They'll pack up your order, and they'll get it out the door for you. One of the things about 2 Guys that I like, which I know they're talking about this on Cigar Authority, and I'm pretty sure they still do it. I know in the past when it's come up in discussion with some of the guys who handle the online orders, they won't ship, I think it's Thursday and Friday. They don't ship because they don't want your package to like saddle with the weekend and sit somewhere. So they try to like, if I remember correctly, and Dave who listens to the show can correct me, but I believe all their online orders, they try to ship out like early in the week. So that way they get to you before the weekend. So that way they don't end up sitting anywhere. So they get good. They think about all that shit, man. I got to give them credit. You know, they try to think about getting the consumer their stuff as fast as possible without having the cigars sit in a truck somewhere on a Sunday in the cold or in the heat. They try to avoid that. So kudos to them. They're great. They're great people, man. But yeah, I'm smoking the New Day from Warped, which just came out, just started shipping. And so far, I am not even a half an inch in, and it's actually pretty delightful. I actually really like this cigar so far. It's got kind of a different twang to it. Blended really nice. Tobacco's not too young. Like, just nothing negative to say, really. It's really flavorful right off the bat. So I'm really excited to see how this continues to burn. But and I'll update the audience as we go along here, but I'm very interested in what's going on over here, because it's always fun to watch someone try to figure out a cigar without a band on it. And once again, as always, our friends at ST Dupont, shaking up the legacy with ST Dupont, are with us. We got our Dupont lighters here. I got the new Legrand with the ping in the soft flame and the torch. The line 2 from the Gradient collection, which is out of fuel at the moment. I apologize. Pat's got the accessory of the year with the Biggie flat flame lighter that came out at the end of 23, but unfortunately it didn't get into the cycle till last year. So it's last year's accessory of the year. Great lighter. Love that lighter. We've been talking about it all year, and now there it is. It's fantastic. So. Shake up the legacy, SC Dupont. Ask your local retailer for SC Dupont products today. Let me go back to the main screen here. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
Thank God.
Thank God?
Yeah.
Yeah, you really wanted the Eagles to win. Or you really just wanted the Chiefs to lose?
I just wanted the Chiefs to lose. I also won a pretty decent amount of money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was a...
So what did you bet? Just the money line? Did you
put
a parlay in, or what'd you do?
I had a bunch of parlays, but the one that hit was Eagles money line, Smith getting a touchdown.
Okay.
Which you can imagine, and that was the last thing that needed to hit for me. So like that, seeing him catch that, then run that. Oh, and then people copy my bet too. So like everyone at my table won. Hurts getting plus 225 passing yards. And then there was one more. It was a 4-legger.
Did you hit all your bets?
Yes.
Wow.
What is it? Not Bell C, but Bell. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh. Yes, I know what you're talking about. It's not coming.
But yeah, one of his yards gained parlay. So it was a good parlay, but yeah, the last thing to hit was Smith, and that was hype.
What? How much did you win?
It was like a $20 bet, and then that one was $400.
Nice.
But then I did a bunch of live betting, and because my attitude was like, fuck the Chiefs. So I kept right off the rip. I was just guessing what everything would be. Then suddenly I started betting. I'm like, this is gonna be a turnover. He's gonna throw a pick, and then he threw a pick, and I won like it was like $65 for like some stupid like $10 or $15.
Oh, let me throw this out. Oh shit, I won. Yeah.
So now I'm like, everyone's like, Pat knows what to do for live bets. I'm like, no, I don't. And then I bet again. I'm like, he's gonna throw another pick. He's an idiot. And then he throws another pick, and I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, you're a good old Frank Rosenthal. Wow, look at that. One of the best handicappers ever. Who also was the central figure in the movie Casino. That was about his life. He was one of the best handicappers ever. I mean, he was mob related, but you know, he was known as back in the day. I mean, he barely revolutionized sports betting and yada yada yada. It's a long story, but anyway, hey, good for you. You know who does a lot of sports betting? Jeremy over at Federal. I know he's always posting like on Facebook, like, oh, like this is my. So like, I gotta give that dude credit. He's always doing a lot of bets. I should hit him up one of these times. Be like, yo, so like, how good are you at this? And see what his actual success rate is, because I always see him posting. So, I know he was betting big. I wanted the Chiefs to win, as I made pretty clear, for a lot of reasons. But you know, I didn't really have a dog in the fight, so I don't really care that they lost. I will say, I think many people are shocked at the way that game went down. I figured it would be a little bit closer. I didn't expect the Chiefs to guarantee the win or anything like that, like some people did. You know, I knew I'm like, hey, they could lose this game. The Eagles can beat them. I didn't see it being 34-0 in the third quarter. I did not see that. I didn't see that coming.
I thought it was going to be like that.
You did?
I think I said that last time I was on the show.
I can't remember.
Well, because of how they dominated Washington, I'm like, they're just going to, it's either they're going to go in.
Yeah, but Washington wasn't like a top tier team. They did better than people expected.
And I wasn't convinced with how the Chiefs played against the Bills either. I think the Bills actually were the better team in that game. I think they just had some close calls, and in a close game like that, a spot, I'm not saying that it's invalid spotting, but close plays like that make the big difference in score, and it was a close game, so
do you think that
I wasn't convinced.
Do you think the game would have been different if the Bills went instead of the Chiefs. Like, maybe the Eagles still would have won. But do you think maybe it would have been closer? Or do you think...
I think it would have been closer.
You think so? Looking back now, it's a little bit more...
I think a big part of it, too, is I think the Chiefs phased themselves out because of what that game represented. Because, I mean, they right off the bat, they were playing scared, it seemed like to me. It's like the way the Bills played against the Eagles. It's just, it wasn't what you're used to seeing them do.
Yeah.
Like the mistakes, the play calling, it wasn't really the same team, it seemed like.
Mahomes got sacked six times?
Yeah,
he was horrible. It was the worst game I've ever seen him play.
Was it like, I don't know if it was after the first quarter, like even at halftime, like what, the Chiefs had like 14 yards of offense? It was like some horribly low number.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was halftime. They had like 14, like under 20 yards of offense.
Kelsey did absolutely nothing.
I don't think he maybe had one completion, right?
I think he carried. I think they said he carried for like a total of 50 yards the whole game.
Yeah.
Which for him, I mean, that's embarrassing in a Super Bowl.
I don't even know if it's his fault. I don't think like they won't pass it.
No, I know, but still, I mean, he's, he's the best tight end. And I'm like, after that, I'm like, let's go back to Gronkowski was the best tight end.
So that's the only reason why I wanted the Chiefs to lose. I just hate like the back and forth conversation. Like, like dynasty, it's just whatever.
Everyone's like, if Mahomes wins this game, he's better than Brady. I'm like,
that's why I wanted.
He gets the three-peat, okay. Never been done in the NFL. All right, I'll give it to him. Not easy to do, okay. But just because he did a three-peat and he's got 4 rings, that doesn't mean he's better than Brady. And I'm going to tell you what further emphasized the point that he's not better than Brady. 51 against Atlanta. Same situation. Who won that game?
Well, that's the point. I was waiting until people started saying, "Oh, Brady did it," so
Brady did it.
Should be able to do this pretty easily.
And he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. No?
He couldn't do it.
Not even
he couldn't take the pressure. Couldn't do it. Brady did
and
it.
They were saying that they were fighting to the end of the game, and they scored towards the end. Yeah, but like the second string was in. Like they were. I mean, I think the Eagles' defense, the starters were probably playing still, but like some offense personnel was like second stringers. Just let them.
It was like, dude, I'm done. Like I already know I'm winning. Like I just like now I want to sit down. Like I've been busting my ass.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you have that conversation when one of those players is playing, like, they're good, like, they're good, you see them winning championships, and like they talk about he's the greatest. It was the same when Jordan was around. It was the same when a lot of these other people were around. But it's almost like you need them to retire and go away, not see that greatness on a regular level anymore, and then you're gonna watch the next like really good talent that comes up behind him and be like, oh, okay, what's he gonna do? This guy's pretty good. He's got a couple of championships. And then watch that guy not hit quite the same level, and it like further emphasizes like, yeah, that guy really is the best. Like now that Brady's been gone for a few years, everyone's been talking about Mahomes and the Chiefs winning more championships, and then they get to this game and everything they had on the line, and then the game went how it went, and he couldn't even dig himself out of the hole. There was so many different examples in this one game that just further emphasized that not only is Tom Brady really the best, and it is going to be difficult for people to catch him because people are like, someone. Nope. Mahomes had his chance to really put a dent in that and not pass him, but, really get caught up. He lost that. Same thing with Kelsey. Everyone talk about, Travis Kelsey, the greatest tight end. No. Rob Gronkowski is the greatest tight end. And that's not because I'm a Patriots fan. It's because he's had better long-term success. And like Brady, he left the big bad dynasty team in New England, went to a completely another team that didn't even make the playoffs the year before, and won a Super Bowl with Tom because he had the talent. He didn't need the whole team. I mean, it's a team effort, and they had some great players on that team. They had Mike Evans, and they had some good guys on that team, the Tampa Bay team in 2020. But tell me that Brady and Gronk and a couple of the other good players, didn't really carry that team to a championship year one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think to your point, it emphasized, Those guys really are good. You know, do you think that Hunt or any of those other guys could have made that catch that Jules made inches off the ground that got reviewed for like 15 minutes? No. 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 I mean, look, I rooted for the Chiefs, and I know everyone hates the Chiefs for a lot of reasons. I get it. I like, and the whole ref thing, you know, look, we dealt with it in New England. It was, deflating. Like, it's all a bunch of BS. It is. It's just people cry and bitch when their team doesn't win. I get it. There's a new team now that wins all the time. I get it. And I sympathize. You know, we still know what it's like being in New England. I mean, we were like the worst team that ever was I mean, your dad probably remembers it more than we do. But, you know, I'm just saying, there was that time. So we know. But we also know what it's like to win all the time and have people just shit on you just because they're like so pissed that you win all the time. So I sympathize with the Chiefs. But ultimately, game don't lie. They lost that game. It was like, well, the Patriots lost. They lost those 2 games to the Giants. They were much closer games. And both the teams were more evenly matched. This was a disgrace by the Chiefs. This was embarrassing. And then you got everyone booing Taylor Swift. Travis Kelce didn't really perform. Mahomes didn't perform. Like, everything about it. Like, everything about it was negative. You know what I mean? I read something today, and it was like, Travis was really upset on the field because he heard everyone booing Taylor, and he felt so, like, helpless, and you couldn't defend her. And I'm like, it's not your fucking job to defend her. Your job's to play the game. So it's like,
I would say that's probably not true. I'm sure Kelsey didn't acknowledge that because he's locked into the game.
yeah.
I don't read anything like that because I feel like people just puff everything that happens. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, even if it was true, it's like, that shouldn't be your concern, though. Like, to your point. Like, it shouldn't even be the concern, though. You should be focused on the game. Like, if people booing your girlfriend, who gives a fuck? You're playing in the Super Bowl. Like, you'll deal with that later. She'll cry and she'll be like, I can't believe they booed me. Be like, yeah, I know. But, yeah, I don't know. I think the Chiefs, they psyched themselves out. I think everyone's like, well, they weren't really a good team. They squeaked their way by, and the refs. No, I think they were still a good team that got by. They think they were lucky to get to the Super Bowl, but I think they're true. I don't know. That game just was. And not that I didn't think that the Eagles were good. I knew the Eagles were good, but I was just like, wow, this is a travesty. But you know what? Good for them. Good for the Eagles. As much as, and I don't want to get into it again. I made a statement the other day. I had to take it down. Coop got all upset, and only because it's Coop, I felt bad, and I took it down because Coop got very offended that I said, listen, every time Philly wins a championship, or even if they don't, but if they go to a championship game, either way, they, like, destroy the city worse than any other team. And he's like, that's not true. And I'm like, well, I mean, I know every city has its bad eggs, but, like, it seems to me like with Philadelphia, it's a thing. They always have to talk about, we got to grease the poles tonight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always a thing. And I felt bad because Coop got upset. And I'm like, I don't want him to get all upset. I know he's got a big place in his heart for Philly. And so if it was anybody else, I'd say, no, fuck you. Like, I'm leaving the post up and you're wrong. But I care too much about Coop, so I took it down. I didn't want him to be upset. But good for them. They got another championship. Jalen Hurts gets his championship. Now he can get people off his back. Stop talking shit. I do like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good player. He's very stoic. Is that the right term? It's kind of like you. He doesn't say much, but you could tell he's a thinker. So I'm glad he got his championship. It's good. I do want to see Josh Allen get one because, I mean, I think Josh Allen's a good guy. Even though he plays for the Bills and, you know, in New England we don't like the Bills, but I think Josh Allen would be, you know, I think he should have at least one before he goes. I think he's done a great job. So the next few years will be interesting. It'll be see, you know, can the Chiefs bounce back from this? You know, does Kelce retire? I know it's been like a thing. Like, you know, how much longer is he going to play? And, you know, what else happens? I'm sure Andy Reid's not going anywhere. But, you know, does Mahomes bounce back from this? And, you know, I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of team the Chiefs have next year.
I don't think they bounce back. I think there's going to be a lot of internal issues, and I think a lot of people going to get traded. I think the right thing to do would just go back into it, lock in for next season. But I think you're going to see the team swap around a little bit, and that's Because that's always what happens.
The problem is, this team has either been in the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game every single year since 2018. So, and then the last few years alone, it was like Super Bowl win, Super Bowl win. You go back to the Super Bowl again, it's like.
But now, once a team
now
loses,
the high is over.
Yeah, once a team loses, I find people act irrational with person. Even like you look at the Bruins, like.
Oh, the Bruins! Don't even get me started with the Bruins.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't know what the fuck that team's doing. You know what they need to do? They gotta get rid of Don Sweeney. The whole thing with Swayman, I mean, that whole thing before the season started with Swayman was an embarrassment. Like, the fact that they were even doing this in the media, having this pissing match, and then didn't they trade Swayman? Are they going to? Now I think they're going to trade Swayman. At this point, get rid of him. Like, you create such a distraction, outside the locker room. But yeah, good example. Look at the Bruins. What was it 2010? They lost to the Blackhawks. No, 13. It was 13. Then they lost against the Blues. And then look at the last couple of years. I don't even want to get into it. The only team they can beat in the playoffs now is Toronto.
Yep.
Like, they'll lose to everybody else, and everybody knows it. Even Toronto, they're like, oh, we can't beat Boston. We never have, but they're gonna lose in the next round. We all know it. Toronto can play anybody else and maybe get pretty deep in the playoffs. But the fact they got to go through Boston every time, and then Boston loses the next round, it's like just an extra slap in the face to them. You know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah.
At least the Celtics got their shit together, Like, at least they got their shit together. They got another championship. You got all the shit talkers like Willie Morante out of their way. Yo, Miami. Yo, we got to beat Miami and Jimmy. Well, guess what? Jimmy plays in San Francisco now. Golden State. He's gone. Wild. Now we're just on the sports tangent. I mean, I could keep going. I mean, I don't know. Do you follow basketball? I don't even know. Do you follow basketball? I do. And then you got the trade between the Lakers and the Mavs with Luka and Anthony Davis. Oh, my God. What a blockbuster that was. Holy shit. Tell you, man, sports. I just want LeBron to go away. I'm so sick of hearing about fucking LeBron James. I really am. Dude is so pompous.
He must be pretty close, I would say.
He is. I mean, he's in his 40s. I think he's still trying to chase Jordan, because everyone think, oh, he's better than Jordan because like he's like the all-time points leader. Yeah, it took him 3 times as long to do it. Jordan didn't play that long in the NBA, relatively, when you think about it. Played from 84 to 91, 92, 93. Sat out 94, 95. Came back in 95. Lost. And then went 96, 97, and 98. And then retired again. And then he had that publicity stunt with the Wizards in like 2002. I don't really count that. But like, when you think about it, 84, you're talking 10, like I think it's like 13 seasons with Chicago. He didn't play relatively long, and he accomplished a lot. LeBron's been playing since like 2006, and he's still out there like trying to like cross his name off the list. And it's like, oh, LeBron's so good. Well, LeBron also played for like 20-something years. Like, come on. He also lost in the finals like 4 or 5 times now, I think. Jordan never lost in the finals. And he 3-peated twice. Yep. That's right. How's that cigar doing? Has it changed on you? Have you noticed anything different? Anything you've been thinking like, you know what? Now it's not Espinosa. Now it's not San Andreas. Like, anything changed for you? This cigar is fantastic. This New Day, I really like this. The Warped New Day. This is a great cigar.
I've heard good things about it.
It's very, very good. I really would recommend this to anybody who's seen this and is curious. I would recommend this. This is a great cigar. Smokes well. A lot of smoke. It's got a nice flavor. The flavor is very consistent. It's complex, but it's not too all over the place. It's got like 4 solid notes on it that all blend really well together. It's not over blended. It's not too much. It's not too spicy. It's not too strong. It's kind of like a little bit of spice, hint of pepper, lots of earth. That's it. And it's all perfect. It's not nothing stands out more than the other. It's very well rounded, and it's just a nice mouth feel, a lot of flavor, very enjoyable. It's smooth. I'd call it probably medium plus. Very, very good. Very, very good. I just can't wait to see if you get closer to what it is or if you start drifting further away.
I mean, it's tough, and also, I mean, if you got it out of one of the humidors here, I mean, it's likely something I haven't smoked. I mean, there's brands that I don't smoke often, so it could be something.
I mean, I got. You know how many cigars are in that room. There's thousands and thousands of cigars. There's so many different brands in there. So I wouldn't count that out. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot from micro boutique to big mainstream and everything in between. I mean, I know you've probably smoked that before. I mean, I know what it is, so I know you've probably smoked it. Your previous employer carries that cigar. So I know it's in the humidor. I know you've probably smoked it. That I can tell you. You got Nicaragua right. The binder and the filler are Nicaraguan. You got that right. The wrapper, I think the wrapper you got right. It is Mexican. Mexican San Andreas.
I mean, it's weird because, like, it's tough to guess stuff like this. I mean, if you smell the foot, there's certain factories that I think have a certain scent. So
Really?
yeah. So the initial smell was like my father. Right. So that was that specific smell that the foot had. I've smelled from Hoya and then my father. It's like a distinct smell.
I want to confirm the factory because I think I know the factory. I want to make sure that I'm right just in case before I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely it. Come on, where is it? Why can't I find it? Hold on. There we go. Nope, that's not it. Aha. Yeah, I was right. And you guess what? My father?
Hoya and my father have been the two scents.
Neither of those. You're on the right track, but it's neither of those.
See, I'm good at tasting the tobacco.
See, I'm gonna say, like, so far you've been good. Like, you haven't nailed everything. You got the wrapper right, the binder and the filler, you got right. Specifically, there's a specific tobacco in the binder. But you got the region right on all the tobaccos where it's made. Factory, no, but brand you said Espinosa, it's not Espinosa. I know what's funny is I'm gonna tell you. This is what happens every time. I'm gonna tell you, and you're gonna be like, "Oh fuck yeah, now I see it." You will. I know you will, because that happens every time I do this. And the other thing too is, you're actually pretty good at this. I can't tell you how many times I've done this, and people are just like so left field, so left field. They're like, "This is from Honduras," and it's.
Well, people.
And I'm like, nope, not even close.
It's like a game at Twins with stock. If someone will hand me what's in it, then I'll just guess what the tobacco is. I'm usually pretty spot on with it.
Yeah, no, you're good at this.
But when it comes to brands and everything, again, it depends on, like, I mean, if you want to, I mean, it's tough because I don't know what the brand is, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm critiquing anything. But just based on, Like, I'm trying to think because, and this is also, it's a handmade product, but it's a butter press. And the wrapper is very rugged. The neck and the cap weren't really well done.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm factoring in, like, which factories do things like that. Like, for instance, I'll say EP Carrillo, they have really bad necks and caps on their cigars. So that's one of the... But they don't have something that's a spice bomb like this. Other than the Pledge, but... Unless this cigar is... I don't think... No, because then if it's the Pledge, typically the ribbons...
It's not.
It's not, because I was telling you why I wouldn't guess the Pledge. Because the ribbons that they put on the foot are always too tight, and the foot of the cigar is always going to be, like, in. So that's
okay.
why
Good call.
that wouldn't be something
It's a good call.
that I guess. It's not a Perdomo. I already know as a fact.
No, it's not Perdomo.
I know it's not a Perdomo.
Quality, consistency. No, quality.
Or it just doesn't have the neck.
What is it?
And also...
Quality, tradition, and excellence.
Yeah, Perdomo, they're a little bit... The bunching is more open, so it's usually a fatter cigar. It's not something like this. And I mean, you could delve into Rocky and be like, oh, is it Rocky? Because there's so many... Like, when in doubt, you can guess Rocky, and he has a lot of different cigars, but he has nothing that's like
that.
This spicy.
Yeah, it's not Rocky.
You know, it's...
All right, I'll give you another hint. The brand does not own the factory. So it's not like AJ Fernandez, like himself, brand, or it's not like a... it's not like Rocky. So it's a brand. The cigar is made at another factory than the brand owns. So that's another thing too. It's not their own factory.
So, and then based on...
If that kind of narrows anything down for you?
It doesn't.
No?
I'm just going through my thought process. So...
They make a lot of cigars for a lot of people. And they make them in Nicaragua. They grow their own tobacco. The brand is a brand that makes traditionally Nicaraguan cigars. Sometimes some interesting projects, but the cigars are, themselves are not like wild or really out there. Guy who owns that brand's been around a long time. Been in a couple of different places. Now he's got his own place. It's not Steve. Don't even go there.
No, it's not Hoya. I already...
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You said that. Yep.
Do
you like the cigar?
Yeah,
Without
okay.
even knowing what it is. Do you like just smoking it now and unknown? Do you like it?
Oh yeah, I like the spicy dark pepper,
Okay.
which is why I'm gonna... If it's something that's at Twins, I probably have had this before. Yeah, I mean, it's just a super spicy cigar. So it's there's only a few brands that I've had where this is the profile. I mean, like Blackwork Studios, or Black Label rather, like they have things like this.
Okay.
And they're more boutique, so they typically have these... I don't want to say ugly-looking wrappers, because it's not ugly, but just rugged
Toothy.
wrapper, toothy, like the
Yeah.
necks. But you're telling me the factory is being made at, which Black Label has
have
their
make
own.
their own factory, yeah.
So it's not
That's
them.
no.
It's tough.
I've given you a lot of information. Yeah, I know it's not easy, so I'm not saying like what you should know, but I have given you a lot of information. So there's a lot of things you have been able to cross off the list, but I feel like there's still several components that or factors that maybe still make it tough. Trying to think if that's won anything. I don't think so. Trying to think of like what other like good hints I could give you without completely giving it away. I don't think it's won any awards or anything. been out. When did that come out? God. At least like 6-7 years. At least.
Is it core line?
It's a core line product. It's not a limited edition. When did that come out? I'm trying to remember. Doesn't say. I want to say it was like 17. Well, it came out. So it's been out for a while. It's not new. It didn't come out like last year or anything like that. Pre-2020. Core line product. Pretty popular, actually, among... Alright, I'll say this. It's popular for a... I'd still call it a boutique brand. And it's got a good popular following. Around here, a lot of the shops... I think all the shops carry it. And it's pretty popular. A lot of people, in particular... Whoa. What happened? Oh, sorry. The Slack's over here. A lot of people like the guy who owns the company. In particular. A lot of people think he's cool. It's a good dude. Knows tobacco very well.
I mean, the brand I'm thinking of, this would be made from the Placencia family, and I don't like this specific sample. Doesn't.
And the guy who owns it's a gringo.
I know. I know that in my so in my head it's Herc, but I'm trying to think of which cigar it's of Herc's.
Herclots?
Yeah.
No.
It's not. That's the way you're kind of defining it.
Nope.
All right. That's why I wasn't comfortable with saying it was Ferio, because I'm like, it doesn't smoke like anything.
I wasn't. That wasn't even my intention. I was just trying to be vague on.
Or it seems like you were like trying to like bait me into him. And I'm
no.
Like,
That wasn't my intention.
Okay.
That wasn't even my intention. But the fact that you went there is interesting. But no, I was just trying to be like.
Because I was like, this doesn't smoke like anything. Because I can tell you right now with certainty, this isn't from Placencia.
No, it's not.
It's not from Placencia. That's
Nope.
why I'm like, there's nothing in Ferio that
It's not Placencia.
would be this cigar. It's definitely not from...
Peter says, a Room 101. No, it's not Room 101.
This is definitely not... No. This isn't anything Quesada makes either. It's too strong.
It's also not Dominican.
They have some Nicaraguan base blends, don't they?
Yeah, but I also told you it wasn't.
You didn't say anything about the factory. You just said, I just guessed tobacco. Doesn't mean it's not.
Okay, I'm trying to remember what I did and didn't tell you. So, yeah.
Is it like a well-known factory?
Mm-hmm. It's not like one of those ones that, like, we would know. It's one that, like, consumers know. Like most consumers know, I should
So we
say.
would know because consumers know?
Well, you know what I mean.
Consumers know more than we do?
There are a good amount of factories out there that are not as recognized. This is one of the ones that I would say people probably know this one. Judging off of its name.
Off of the factory's name?
Mm-hmm. You're stumped, man. I'm enjoying this. Let's see. Jose Blanco La Aurora. Nope. Nope.
See, I bet you in your head you're like, he's definitely smoked this a shit ton.
I know you've smoked this a bunch of times. And that's why I know, like, when I tell you, you're gonna be like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, I know this fucking cigar. And I'm like, yep, I know. So, the last time I did this with Carney, I gave him a Fuente and Añejo. I really tried to throw him off. And I said, all right, I'm going to give him, and I had something, I'm going to give him a Dominican, I'm going to give him a Fuente, Connecticut broadleaf, something that like isn't one of the first things you think of with that brand, right? So I'm like, let me I was trying to like throw him off. So I'm like, let me give him a Fuente that's Connecticut broadleaf, right? I'll give him an Añejo because he's probably not going to go anywhere near that brand or anything. He's going to stay away from that. There's so many other people he's going to go to first when he smokes this and he figures it out. And he was all over Nicaragua. I said, dude, not even close. You're not even in the right camp. He's like, really? I go, yep. Stumped him. When I finally told him, he was like, what the fuck? I'm like, yep.
Has this been reblended? Because there's one cigar that's in my head based on the way the wrapper is, and honestly because of the way it's drawing in the ash, that I'm thinking of, and I haven't guessed it yet because it's been reblended, and I'm not sure if you would give me the previous blend.
I think they've reblended some other cigars. I don't know if that one's been reblended. Why? What are you thinking of?
Well, I'll start from square one. Aganorsa Factory.
Okay. What else?
Is that a yes or a no?
It's a maybe.
Okay.
It's a maybe.
Because this reminds me of the Wiseman Maduro.
Really? Where did you land on that?
Because we're talking about Nicaraguan factories that people would know, and I've named almost all of them. And you said
There's more. No, there's other ones. So that's why I'm like, that's random. Okay. Now I'm intrigued because I'm like, okay, go on. Ooh.
it has
Ooh, soft pretzel with salt right here. This is nice. This is delicious.
well, it has like a butter press. And honestly, I love the Wiseman Maduro, the original version of it. And I didn't guess it because I said, well, for one, this can't be it because it's not box pressed anymore. But every time I would smoke one, it would have the same kind of burn, which is weird, which is one of the turnoffs I had with the original Wiseman Maduro.
Okay.
And it also had like that weird veiny wrapper to it with the San Andreas that
Okay.
they're using. But you're saying that's not it, so that would be kind of cheating too if it's a outdated blend. I feel like.
Well, not that it is, but let me ask you this question. Why would that be cheating? Cigar is a cigar.
I feel like I would have to know it's like it's not. Well, like I asked if it's a core line, and you said it was.
It is a core line.
But that's what I'm saying. If it's not an existing core line, that wouldn't be fair.
Okay. I think I see where you're going with it. I don't know if I fully agree. But, okay. In the case of the argument, but okay.
I mean, I'm running low on.
I know.
On
You've
guesses.
you've covered a lot of good stuff. Why don't we take a break? Why don't we go to the news? Let's read the news really quick. I'll give you a few minutes to think about it. I've been grilling you for like the last 20 minutes. Our news, once again, brought to you by Micallef Cigars. Head over to Micallef Cigars today. Check out their new color series, the black, the red, the blue, and I believe there's another color on the way for PCA. I think there's a yellow coming out. I think it's been talked about. I've heard it from several different sources. I think there's another color coming out. Sorry, I'm like blanking on opening my shit here. Since you mentioned Michael, a couple of highlights. I'm gonna do a couple of highlights on this because it's not been a very heavy news week. Lots of stuff's come out, but it's not really big exciting stuff. Ferry Ortega has expanded into Canada. Speaking of Michael, so now they have distribution in Canada by way of Craytech. So Craytech's going to be bringing Ferry Ortega to Canada, which I know Mitchell will be excited about. Which, by the way, Mitchell is kind of sort of back on the team, not in his original role. He's taking a more digital website interface role with the website. He's going to be doing a lot of SEO and programming stuff. So he still can't smoke, but he wants to be on the team, and I guess that's his new passion, man. So I was like, yeah, sure, you can maintain the website. So he's going to be doing some web stuff for us. So I'm excited because I like Mitchell, and it's nice to just be able to kind of, work with him again. Gallus Family Cigars introduces the new Absolutos line, which is interesting. They've been making some moves. Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust has hired, I know I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, I'm so sorry, Edga Quinones? That was a pretty damn good guess. If I didn't get it right, it was pretty damn good. I sounded that one out in my head. Staff hires. A lot of the stuff lately has been staff hires, distribution, price increases. It's that time of the year. Lots of little stuff going around. Serafin de Cuba, for those who know our good friend Arnold Serafin down in Florida. He's got a new cigar coming out of PCA called the El Capitan. I believe in Spanish is the right pronunciation. It's a limited edition that's coming out. Black Label has started shipping their Super Deluxe. They're going to be shipping it next week. Sorry, but it's coming. It's coming. So if you're a Black Label fan, that's your local retailer for it. And EP Carrillo has begun shipping the new Endure, which we've been talking about. We talked about it on Spare Notes the other night. It's got the Mirafel Cameroon wrapper on it. So I actually have a couple. So
Oh,
look at that! I have some.
I think you're missing one.
No, I don't think so. I just got them. There's no way you stole one. When did you go in there?
When you were fucking with your headset in the beginning of the show, you didn't even notice it. It was really quick.
Did you grab one?
No, I didn't.
I was gonna say that was a good grab. But yeah, no, those are in there. They're resting. I just got those in. Yeah, they're really not much. I would say 2 more weeks and the news is going to be out of control with all the PCA announcements. I anticipate this is going to be a bigger year than last year for PCA. Maybe not the biggest year, but I'm thinking bigger than last year. So that's our news for the week. Just kind of some random highlights about some stuff going on. And, stay tuned for more. Head over to smokingtobacco.com for more news and updates from the industry. All right, Pat. We're getting towards the end here. So you made your last guess. Like, now he's trying to cheat. He's like, I'm going to look this up on Google.
No, that's not actually what I'm doing.
Oh, he's texting one of his chicks. Yeah, you missed out on Spare Notes, by the way. Did you hear the Spare Notes show?
I haven't had a chance to...
Dude, you have to listen to that. Coop said something that I thought was awesome. He talked about picking up chicks at the library in college.
What the
Yeah, he was like, I forget the context of the conversations. I can't really quote too well, but I remember we were talking about something, and he was like, oh yeah, I used to go to the library, when I was in college, and like they used to watch shows and stuff. And he was like, yeah, I was like, that's where that was like the place to meet girls and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you used to go pick up girls at the library? And he was like, well, that was the place. And I was like, oh, okay. So now we know, and he made it sound like he was, revolving door. I'm like, wow, I didn't think you were a big ladies man, just picking up chicks at the library all the time. I'm like, wow, good for you.
Yeah,
yeah, I did all right, just when I think I got Coop figured out, fucking, it's like a slap in the face. Something hits me. I'm like, I didn't see that coming. Gotta give it to the guy. He's a dark horse. He is. He's a dark horse, man. He continues to surprise. That's why I love Coop so much. He continues to surprise me every day, and I think that's phenomenal. But yeah, you gotta listen to that. Yeah, it was a good show. All right, so your last guess, you said Agnor's Leaf Factory, which I said maybe. If you were to guess any other cigars, what would it be?
Well, I think based on what I'm tasting, and my best guess was the first guess I had that it's an Espinosa, but
No.
it's not. So it's
not. But do you feel like your mind keeps going back to Espinosa? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah, because most of the times I've had something like this, it's been Espinosa.
Well, I can tell you that was made at Agnor's factory.
Which is why the Wise Man Maduro came to my mind, because this is the only other cigar than Espinosa that had this same kind of look and taste to it. Because this isn't under Aganorsa's umbrella.
Well, judging by the time, which we're almost out of, do you give up? Do you want me to tell you?
Give me like one or two more hints, and I feel like I'll be able to get it. Is it an Aganorsa product?
No.
They make it for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a gringo.
The Gringo.
See, that's so funny. I think
Guy who owns the company has his own little nickname that's kind of catchy.
So I think it's funny because I think you're gonna find out that I don't know anything about this person that you think I know about.
Really?
And I haven't had this cigar before.
Do you think you know who it is? Is that why you said that, or are you saying that because you have no idea who it could be?
I feel like you're gonna be shocked that I don't actually know who this is, and that's why like you feel like I might guess it, but I'm not going to, because it's gonna be someone I wouldn't even think to guess because I don't know who they are.
So do you give up? I'll tell you what it is at this point.
Unless there's one more guess, like one more.
You can guess one more. You can.
I
guess
mean, one more hint that.
I'm trying to think what else I could give you that would really set it home for you. There's 2 variations of it. Like 2 different blends of it.
Is that all they have for the whole line?
In that particular name? I mean, they make a lot of other different cigars. They got several lines in their portfolio. And they've done several limited editions.
It's not Sindicato.
Nope.
See, I don't know that many brands that use Aganorsa, to be honest with you. I know they do a lot, but I don't, like, identify a lot of boutiques with Aganorsa.
You ready to be mind fucked?
Yeah, you can tell me.
Wise Man Maduro.
I fucking said it, and you
I know.
said no!
I didn't say no. I just said interesting.
That's not fair. Fuck
I said,
you, I guessed it.
Interesting.
Fucking dick.
I wanted to see what else you would say. Yeah, it's Wise Man Maduro.
I guessed it, like, that was, like, almost in the first realm, because
Yeah, but then I was like, I want to know what else you're going to say.
Fuck you.
And I wanted you to be like, no, this is definitely Wise Man Maduro. And I'd be like, yeah.
That's not fair.
It's Wise Man Maduro.
That's why, in the beginning,
So, now that you know.
You're going to be like, oh my god, you're going to say that now. I would have guessed that earlier, but this isn't.
No, it's okay.
Because when I first smoked this, because of the way it's burning,
Yeah.
the Wiseman Maduro consistently burns this way.
Okay, yeah.
So originally that was within the realm of my first guess, but I'm like, it can't be that because my father makes that now.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, well, Espinosa has the same kind of pepper bomb. That's not fair.
I almost thought you were going to go that way when you mentioned my father, because I was like, ooh, okay.
But that's what eliminated it.
But that's not the my father one. That's the old one.
But that's the thing. I wasn't thinking that you would give me the old, because you said it's been around for 6 years.
When did that one come out? I forget.
The Wiseman Maduro was out.
The original
7 or 8. Yeah, 7 or 8. But
yeah.
It's not out anymore.
I knew roughly. Yeah.
It's not out anymore, so I didn't think that was even on the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair.
Well, I'll take it. I'll take the what. I didn't think about that when I grabbed it. I didn't even think about it. It wasn't until you brought it up about how it being reblended, I was like, oh, I didn't really think about that, to be fair. I wasn't trying to trick you with that. I genuinely, like, when you brought it up, I was like, oh, I didn't think about that's true. But then I didn't want to give it away. So I was like, I don't know. I was trying to, still play close to the vest. But yes, that's the original one.
I'm not mind fucked.
You did really well. No, really, you did really well. There's a lot of people I know who are very good cigar smokers who probably wouldn't have come that close. Because it's not easy. You really got to know the cigars.
If I knew that it could have potentially been reblended, this would have been, if not the first, the second guess.
But the thing is, I figured you would be good at this because you worked in humidor for so long. Constantly smoking everything all the time. I know it would be fresh in your mind. When I do this with, like, certain people, media guys and people like John who've been with the manufacturer, it's tough because the media guys smoke so much random shit all the time. Their mind goes everywhere. People like Carney, I give him something he might not smoke all the time, and he only smokes like, LFD and like a handful of other brands most of the time. So it's a little bit trickier for him. Whereas you were I grabbed something that I know, like I know he smoked this regularly because they sell this where he worked. So I knew, like, he probably smoked that a bunch of times. You're gonna know that cigar. You won't be able to, like, it's this, but like.
That was almost the impression when I smoked it.
But you got to it pretty quickly and easily. And of course, I could have steered you close to it sooner, but I was trying to be. I didn't want to give it away. I wanted to see you think. You know what I mean? That was kind of the whole idea. So,
if I knew reblends could have been in the pool, this would have been like right off the bat.
And when you brought it up, it threw me off, and I was like, how do I get around this without giving it away? So it kind of fucked me up. But yeah, good call, good play, good play. Is that a cigar you like? You can say no.
No, it is. That's why I remembered it when I lit it up.
And you've smoked it a bunch of times.
And again, like, because I was commenting on.
Right.
That's why I would have guessed this cigar.
Right.
I just didn't think that was.
So my point is that was a good grab though, because it was something that you could figure out. If I grabbed you like a limited from like a small boutique brand, maybe you've never even smoked before, you probably wouldn't have been able to figure it out. I did grab something where I'm like, I want to grab something at least I know there's a good chance I know he's definitely smoked at least a dozen times. It makes it easier to do. If I give you something that you've never smoked, I'm like, you're never going to figure it out because you've never fucking smoked it.
Yeah.
So that's like when I did it with Carney, I did the same thing. I always tried to grab, I'm like, I know he's smoked this before. And that's kind of the trick too, is like, when you do it with someone, you try to give them something that you know they've probably smoked. If I give you something random, it's like, well, then they're never going to figure it out. You did good. You did really good. That was in there. I did it kind of quick because it was kind of a last minute change to what we were doing tonight. So I was trying to be quick. But in that drawer, it was in a drawer with a bunch of different stuff. There was the other one I almost grabbed for you until I saw that, and I was like, no, this is a better grab. I almost grabbed for you Nestor Miranda Special Selection. Because I'm like, he's probably smoked that. You smoked that, right?
Does a torpedo?
No, it's
no, it's like a little Rothschild.
No, it's Toro. It's like a full 6x54.
I don't know if I probably wouldn't have been able to
If I
guess
show
that.
it to you, you might remember. But yeah, I almost grabbed that, and then I saw that, and I said, no, I'm grabbing this. He'll definitely know this. So, there you go. Yeah. You really know your shit, which is good. Meanwhile, I've been smoking the New Day, and I gotta say, you gotta get your hands on these. This is the only one I have, but my God, this is good. I might order some more of these. These are fantastic. This is really, really good. I have to say, that is a really good cigar. I really like that. I wish I grabbed a water. I didn't grab any water or anything like that. Oh, Mitchell, look at that. Mitchell texted me. Oh, I thought it was about the show. Yeah. We should do that again.
Just don't cheat next time.
Well, I didn't cheat. I just there was one thing that I didn't think of, and then it was too late. And I was like, oh fuck. We could both do it next time, or we switch switch roles. Yeah, I love doing that. It makes you think, and I think it's good because it gets you really thinking about everything. And you're like really trying to associate.
Well, I'm used to it because I always get random cigars handed to me at Twins, and they're like, "What tobacco is it?" And I typically guess it because I've just done it so many times now. It's
right.
Because I guess the blend right off the rip.
Yeah, no, you were good. Yeah, that's Mexican San Andreas with.
If it's Aganorsa, it's going to be the Corojo.
Yep, with the Corojo binder from Jalapa.
Yep.
With Nicaraguan filler. Yep, you got it. Nice job. That's why I was in the beginning. I was like, oh, like any specifics on like the binder or the filler, because I was trying to see if you'd guess that Corojo.
If this was a year ago before my father started doing this, this would have been. That would have likely been my first guess, because I don't think I would have went to Espinosa so quickly.
Really?
Because it popped into my head, but I'm like, it can't be, because it's been out for 6 years, he said, and this isn't out anymore.
So, let me ask you a question. So you had said Espinosa, but I don't think you mentioned a specific Espinosa. Is there a specific Espinosa cigar you were thinking of? Or just kind of a
Because of
general
the
route?
San Andreas, originally it honestly was just, it was like the Bomba, but that uses a Nicaraguan broadleaf wrapper.
Yes.
So the only one that has the same profile that's not that would have been like the Guy Fieri cigars.
Knuckle sandwich.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when you said Gringo, I'm like, Guy Fieri, but you said it wasn't anything in Espinosa, so I'm like, it can't be him.
Well, he also doesn't own the brand, like the cigar company.
Well, that's why Espinosa would have been the guess.
Yeah.
Because it's Espinosa. But this would have been quickly guessed if I just.
And you don't know much about Nick Melillo, do you?
I do.
Oh, okay. Because you were like, oh, I don't know. You're gonna be surprised. I don't know much about this guy.
I
But
do,
you
but
do.
again, this wasn't even like in the realm because again, that smell. It's, I mean, again, like now it's suddenly all these cigars have that same smell, but it's
Mhm.
like there's this couple, but I just wasn't even thinking of the cigar because it's just not. It's not. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So, when you said it's been out for 6 years, that kind of threw me because I'm like, oh well, shit. Like, what's been out for longer than I've been smoking, working at Twins? That's still out now. That has this, and that's why Espinosa. I was like, yeah, because Guy Fury. I think those came out less than 6 years ago. Close to 6 years ago, but less than 6 years ago. So, yeah, this would have been quickly guessed had I just thought that you could do before the new blend came out this year.
Well, you did pretty damn good.
Especially the way it burned. Like, I love this cigar, but oh my god, the construction on them was horrible.
Well, I think that was an Aganorsa issue.
Yeah, but it's... I would always buy these in the same... Like, this is... It's always the same burn. It's always the same burn. It always happened.
Wow. I have to pick something a little bit trickier next time. You did good.
Well, I think this is tricky for the fact that I wouldn't have been able to guess it because it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Not now.
Yeah.
And it's that reblend only happened, what, last year?
It's recent.
So
That's
it's
why when you
it's not
said...
even like it happened a long time ago. I mean, those are still floating around enough.
It's just because...
It's not like it was reblended 5 years ago.
It's just because you said 6 years, and I'm like, well, this...
Well, that's when it originally came out, yeah.
Now, if you said that would have changed it.
And I wasn't thinking about the reblend. Because you're right, I remember now, it was like last year he put out that thing saying he was, moving everything, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, that did happen. But I forgot. At the time, I just was like, oh yeah, the Wiseman Maduro, and I wasn't even thinking about that. And then when you brought it up, I was like, shit. He's right. Not that I still feel like it doesn't make it unworthy of a test, but it threw me off, and I'm like, how do I get around this without... Because if I feel like if I'm like, yeah, you would have figured it out. I'm like, I want to like keep him guessing. Because I didn't want it to be super easy. I didn't want it to be like a giveaway.
Okay.
That's the part that fucked me up, because I was like, how do I say this without giving it away? Because I knew, I'm like, he probably knows what it is. But you did good. You did good. Nice job. Nice job. We'll have to do that again sometime. It's always a good exercise. But that's mostly the show this week. Next week, let me look at the schedule. I read off the schedule last week.
I don't think you did.
Let's see. Where are we? So we got Vlad from Som Cigars. We have the guys from CRA coming on. Jack Heyer, Oliver Nouveau, Nicholas Perdomo. And that carries us right up to the trade show. So we have a busy couple of weeks coming up. And I know that on Nicholas's show, he's going to be talking about Perdomo Legacy. So really excited for that, which they're going to be showing off at the trade show, which is a cigar that Nicholas himself has blended, which I believe is going to honor Nick Perdomo, his dad. That, according to the Perdomos, Nick had nothing to do with. This was all Nicholas. And I think he also said that they're using a new tobacco that they don't normally use. So this is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see this. He's going to come on and talk about it. I saw Vlad at TPE. They're doing some 3D printed boxes now, which is kind of interesting. They're a newer brand. They just debuted at the show last year. I had the opportunity to smoke some of their cigars at TPE. Not bad. Not bad. They're a nice little brand. And CRA obviously is a lot of stuff that you're probably going to ask more questions than I will with all the legislative stuff and the legal stuff. That's going to be a slam dunk for you. But yeah, and then we got Jack coming on, which is going to be interesting. It always is. We love having Jack on the show. And then Oliver is coming on the show, and he also has a new product that he's going to announce. So that's as much as I can say. So that's going to be exciting as well. So keep an eye out for all of those shows coming up. It's going to be great. No spare notes this weekend, obviously. We had it last week. Coop's on his... no, he leaves Friday. But I spoke to him today. He was packing for his trip next week to Pro Cigar. So he'll be living it up down in the Dominican Republic, having a grand old time at the ever-exclusive Pro Cigar Festival. And I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about that the following week on the next Spare Notes episode. So stay with us. Stay tuned. Head to SmokinTabacco.com for more news, reviews, and updates from the cigar industry.